Alright, we are here for round one. Very excited to be here as per usual. We'll see how it goes. We have no 1-drop. However, Thalia's Lieutenant is great. Declaration Stone is great. Gryff's Boon is reasonable in some matchups, especially. There's only one in the main deck. And we are on the draw, so we might draw into a 1-drop. No, that's like the opposite of a 1-drop in this deck. Ooh, 1-drop. So I think what I'm going to do here is play Thalia's Lieutenant. Thalia's Lieutenant is less hits for less. However, spirits. Playing Thraben Inspector and Declaration in Stone next turn is something that we can consider doing. And I think I want to play Thraben Inspector rather than Always Watching. To put more power on the board so that, well, first of all, if we play Always Watching, we're hitting for 2 regardless. And this way, next turn, we can play Always Watching and hit for more than that. 5, in fact. I wouldn't be surprised to see another Rattle Chains here, but them countering my Declaration in Stone doesn't actually bother me that much, especially since we're playing Always Watching next turn. That was a great way to use our mana efficiently and not trade our Thalia's Lieutenant for a Rattle Chains. So we're just going to play Archangel of Tithes here. It's a great tempo we play. It's like, is there another Rattle Chains? Because that'd be ridiculous. So, Archangel of Tithes, for those of you who are not familiar with her, is from Magic Origins. As long as she's untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control for unless they pay 1 for each of those creatures, and as long as it's attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. So our opponent just killed our Thalia's Lieutenant, which is fine. So I can either hold up Archangel Avacyn or play Always Watching. I think I'll attack. Archangel of Tithes puts a lot of pressure on my opponent. Well, no attacks then, I guess. Nothing suspicious here. At this point, we do have to be a little bit wary of counter magic. Our opponent's like, yeah, no, I know what's going on. Which is good. Like, the fact that they moved to their end step indicates that they might not have a counterspell. Really? Probably would have attacked there. Because it's not like they have to pay to. Okay, that's fine. Now we get to play an Always Watching. And our opponent can't block this turn. Fun fact. So we're just going to attack with both of these guys. I could have put Gryff's Boon on my Thraben Inspector. I could have drawn a card with the clue first, too. Alright, so let's draw with the clue. Thraben Inspector, okay. Declaration in Stone was a pretty reasonable draw. We're gonna try and get these rattle chains out of the way. Declaration in Stone will hit both of them, as long as it resolves. Another Always Watching on the battlefield, hopefully. Yep. Well, if our opponent had Negate, I feel like they would have used it on the Declaration in Stone. Another Bounding Crisis. Okay. So my opponent can trade their Bounding Crisis and their Silumgar Sorcerer for my Thraben Inspector, which is fine. They don't have to pay the tithe in order to block right now, because Archangel has to be attacking. Yeah. Oh, no, never mind, they don't. Math. Alright. I'll kill your dude. This is kind of a cool deck. Got Silumgar Sorcerer is neat. It's back from Dragons of Tarkir. It's always fun seeing cards that you drafted come up in Standard. Whirler Rogue. That card is good. Fortunately for us, we are not going to take a lot of beatings from that Whirler Rogue. So we're going to play Thraben Inspector. Alright, so against the Flash deck, and I'm not sure whether our opponent is playing Collected Company or not, since most of the creatures that you could hit off of Collected Company, so like Whirler Rogue, I'm not counting here, have Flash anyway. I don't think that's really what's going on. I do like signing an Ojutai's commands over, like, I don't know, Archangel Avacyn's. It lowers our curve a little bit. I like Dragonlord Ojutai too, actually. It seems like if your main game plan is to Bounding Crisis my guys, if I get out and Always Watching, you're just in trouble. I don't think Gryff's Boon is very good. And maybe it's just we didn't have an opportunity to cast it on our curve last game. But whenever I got the opportunity to, I just didn't feel like it. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and keep this. It's got 2 Always Watchings, which are like the main game plan, I guess. As well as a Kytheon Hero of Akros. Another Prairie stream is pretty terrible. Unless we draw, like, exactly Dragonlord Ojutai. So, I can pay 3 to give it Indestructible. We're not going to be attacking here. We're just going to play Prairie Stream and pass. Playing around Rattle Chains is pretty nice. There's also Dimensional Infiltrator, which is another card that has native Flash. Lambholt Pacifist. Okay. Lambholt Pacifist is kind of cool in this deck, actually, because you can just pass the turn and flip it. That's crazy. Since I drew another Kytheon, and I'm not going to, like, leave mana open next turn, I'm going to offer the trade with the Lambholt Pacifist. This is fine. Because first of all, again, my opponent can just flip their Lambholt Pacifist, which would be bad for me, and I'm playing Archangel of Tithes next turn, so. Ooh. You're not useful right now, Knight of the White Orchid. I could play another Always Watching, This feels like a Silumgar sorcerer to me, which makes me not want to cast Archangel of Tithes. I think what I'm going to do is play Kytheon and an Always Watching. There's not a whole lot of point in playing into, like, Silumgar Sorcerer. Bounding Crisis. That is also fine. I guess if 3 open mana feels like a Silumgar Sorcerer, I'm gonna have to play into 3 open mana quite a bit. You're right, audience. Oop, nope. They're tapping out, or tapping mana for something. Nissa. Probably making a plant, would be my guess. Yeah, okay. Ooh, hello, Curve. Cancel. We'll attack Nissa. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we've got Thraben Inspector, Archangel of Tithes, playing Archangel of Tithes pre-combat wouldn't have done anything because it only adds tax to blocking if the Archangel itself is attacking. So, not useful right now. So it was nice drawing the Thraben Inspector. I really like the 1-drops in this deck because not only are they, like, just very good on their own, but they can fill out your curve at most points in the game, especially Thraben Inspector, because, like, cracking this clue next turn doesn't cost me anything. Ooh, the wilds are being sought. So opponent -2 to Nissa. And that makes me think that, you know, they're just kind of acknowledging that their creatures, the Nissa is going to die this turn. I think. So Kytheon flips at the end of combat and becomes a Planeswalker, at which point I can make one of these creatures attack, except, oh no, except because they have to pay, this is kind of a nombo, because they have to pay mana in order to attack, Kytheon's ability, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls attacks it next turn if able. The rules don't make you pay mana for that. So, if an opponent's creature can't attack unless its controller pays 1, well then, their opponent can choose not to attack with it. So, yeah, our opponent revealed what? Thought-Knot Seer. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so our opponent's deck seems to be a little bit more closely related to the Mono Blue Eldrazi list of Old Standard than it had seemed before. Which explains the Lambhole Pacifist, I guess. Thought-Knot Seer can attack. Can allow it to attack. Yeah, so our opponent did not seem to be in very good shape. Especially since our 1-drop were 4, 3, and 3 4s. So we got round 1, and that's exciting. I'll see you guys in round 2.